Tony, I know you didn't have a chance to watch SummerSlam over the weekend, but I did want to mention that your old pal Rick Steiner's son finally has WWE gold. He is the Intercontinental Champion. Of course, his wrestling name is Bron Breaker. But man, I just love the connective tissue of WCW. And they showed a box that night, and we saw DDP and Rick Steiner and Scott Steiner and Kevin Nash and Sean Waltman and Miss Jackie all sitting together. It was really, really cool to see all those guys there, and to know that, his dad and his uncle were in the stands when he won the Intercontinental Championship, a title that neither Rick nor Scott ever won.
Right.
That was a fun deal. I think that's one of the things I like most about wrestling. I know you didn't get a chance to see it, but what's your reaction hearing that Rick Steiner's son is the Intercontinental Champ?
I'm really excited for him. I met him when we worked State Farm Arena, or back that time, I think it was Phillips Arena in Atlanta when we were first, remember the Cody match in the cage with Wardlow? Yeah. Rick's son was backstage, and we talked to him, and I got to know him back then. Rick and Scott are two of my favorite people of all time. I think probably because they have so many, we have so many great stories of them pulling pranks on people. And I'm excited for the family. I'm excited for the kid. I've never seen him wrestle, but I'm sure that putting the IC strap on him means they have a lot of confidence in him as far as his character and his work are concerned. So, congratulations.
Imagine if Goldberg was actually ever trained, Tony.
Okay.
That's Bron Breakker. Like the explosiveness, the intimidation, but also, the speed. I'm a big fan of Bron Breakker. Super happy to see him having success, and just love that connective tissue of you and the Steiners. And hey, speaking of things that have happened to former WCW personnel, did you see over the weekend that Mongo, our pal Steve McMichael, has finally taken his rightful place in the NFL Hall of Fame?
Isn't that great?
Fantastic.
It's just, it's horrible to see his health the way it is, but it's wonderful that they recognized him. That's a wonderful and sad picture all in one.
Totally agree. Super happy for him. And that bust, if you get a chance, man, go out of your way to see that Mongo bust up close. He looks like a damn Disney character.
Yeah.
He looks like he's here to save the princess. What a handsome fellow. What a great career. What a heck of a man. And what a story of perseverance. I don't think a lot of people thought that Steve would have made it to today, but he did.
Yes, right.
He made it to see himself go into the Hall of Fame. I'm just delighted that it happened. It felt like a movie, and I'm just happy for the whole family, really.
Steve, even before, he always deserved to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Don't be one of those jackasses that say, "Oh, only because he's so critically sick that they stuck him in the Hall of Fame." Bullshit. He always deserved it. He was on arguably the greatest NFL team of all time. Maybe not even arguably. And he was a mainstay on that great defense. And so he'd always deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. So I think it's wonderful. I really do.
I think it's wonderful too. I'm glad to see that he's there. I think we've covered everything that we needed to talk about, current stuff. I'm ready to watch a little old school Smoky Mountain. Again, we hope you're watching along with us. This aired on August, 13th, 1994.
Yeah. Right.
Episode number 133 on Smoky Mountain, as it's called on Peacock. It's season 3, episode 33.
Yeah.
That's season 3, episode 33. Tony, I'm locked and loaded on my end, but I want you to kick it old school. Can you give us a countdown? Not throw to a friend or something pre-recorded. Let's just call it in the ring, as they used to say.
Let's go to Smoky Mountain Wrestling, season 3, episode 33. You ready? It's Sting. No, wait a minute. That's the wrong one. Hold on a second. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
Here we go. The Smoky Mountain opening. It's fun to see graphics and video from 1994 here, is it not?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Now, interesting that is Smoky really spelled Smoky? I thought it was EY. Nah,
Well,
who knows?
that's the way they spell their
That's,
Smoky Mountain.
that's the
So
way they smell their Smoky Mountain. Yeah, that's the way they spelled their Smoky Mountain. There it is. How about that? Very weird but interesting um,
this is
graphic.
probably the most successful event in the history of Smoky Mountain. Look at that building here, and look who's right in the middle of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
The Dapper Don himself, Jim Ross, talking to Mr. Les Thatcher.
Les was at the, by the way, was at the ceremonies, and
Oh, out in Waterloo, yeah.
I brought his name up. I said I used to watch Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling with Bob Caudle doing the play-by-play, and Les Thatcher doing interviews, and he did. He used to do interviews for Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling.
This is the first appearance of Jim Ross in Smoky Mountain after he's been let go after his first bout of Bell's palsy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a fun show. I recommend everybody check it out. I know you'll probably want to listen to it with the sound on because you know that, well, JR's good at what he does.
Man, great at what he does.
The champions at the time, just to give you some context for the promotion, the heavyweight champion is Dirty White Boy, who we know as Tony Anthony. We would see him as TL Hopper, the wrestling plumber over in the WWF.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the television champion, Suicide Blonde Chris Candido. The tag team champions are Primetime Brian Lee and Chris Candido. So Candido is a double champ here. And as we've mentioned, we're watching this show from the Knoxville Civic Coliseum.
Yeah.
We do a little bit of a break. And then what we just saw there behind the desk were JR and Les Thatcher, who tell us due to time constraints, we won't be seeing the entirety of Night of the Legends, but selected highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's going to toss to our opening contest. It was a Legends tag team match that we're joining already in progress. The special guest referee is Mac McMurray. And what we're seeing is Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. teaming with Dirty Dick Slater to take on the Mongolian Stomper and Ronnie Garvin. How fun is this, man? You want to talk about old school legends and names? You got them all here.
Absolutely. And it shocked me that Ronnie Garvin didn't have spiked blonde hair here.
Right?
He has brown hair. And then I look at Slater. When I first glanced at Slater, I'm thinking, is that Pillman? See those blonde locks that he has?
And the blue star on the trunks, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And just
when he turned sideways and you could see that he had a little bit of a belly, you knew it's not.
Yeah,
Pillman.
I knew it's not Pillman.